Welcome to our channel. Amid Rome's rising shadow, Cleopatra gambled her throne on a doomed alliance. The golden sands of Egypt had witnessed the rise and fall of pharaohs for 3,000 years, but none would be quite like the young woman who ascended the throne in 51 BC. Cleopatra VII was the last of the Ptolemaic dynasty, a line of Greek rulers who had governed Egypt since the death of Alexander the Great. She was not Egyptian by blood, but she would become the country's most legendary queen. Her early reign was a baptism by fire, shared uneasily with her younger brother, Ptolemy XIII, as was the royal custom. The sprawling, wealthy kingdom was a prize eyed greedily by the Roman Republic, and the royal court in Alexandria was a viper's nest of intrigue. Cleopatra, fiercely intelligent and politically astute, understood that her survival depended on outmaneuvering both her domestic rivals and the foreign power looming to the north. She was determined to rule alone, to be the sole master of Egypt's destiny, and she would use every weapon at her disposal, her intellect, her wealth, and her formidable charm, to secure her throne. Her first great gamble involved aligning herself with the most powerful Roman of the era, Julius Caesar. This alliance secured her position, eliminated her brother, and produced a son, Caesar Ion. But Caesar's assassination in 44 BC plunged the Roman world into a new civil war and left Cleopatra's strategy in ruins. She watched from Alexandria as power in Rome coalesced around a new triumvirate. It was then that she conceived her final, most audacious gamble. She would not merely seek a Roman protector, she would aim to become a co-ruler of the Roman world itself. Her target was Marcus Antonius, known to history as Mark Antony, one of the three men now ruling Rome's vast territories. Antony, a seasoned soldier and a man of immense appetites, was the perfect mark for her ambitious plan. He needed Egypt's immense wealth to fund his own military campaigns and political ambitions. She needed his legions to shield her kingdom from annexation. Their meeting in Tarsus was not a summons of a subordinate, but the calculated performance of a sovereign goddess. She arrived on a magnificent barge, dressed as Venus, and expertly ensnared the powerful Roman. Their alliance swiftly evolved into a deep, passionate, and politically transformative partnership. Cleopatra and Mark Antony became lovers, and she bore him 3 children. For a decade, they built a power base in the east, operating from the dazzling court of Alexandria. Antony granted her vast territories of the Roman East, lands that had once belonged to other Roman client kings. In Rome, his rival, Octavian, Caesar's adopted son, used this relationship as a powerful propaganda tool. He painted a picture for the Roman people of a sorceress queen corrupting a noble Roman general, of a foreign woman aiming to subjugate the Republic and move its capital to the east. Antony and Cleopatra were no longer just a political and romantic couple, they were a joint threat to the very idea of Rome. They formally declared their own rival entity, the Donations of Alexandria, dividing the eastern kingdoms among their children. This was a direct challenge to Octavian's authority and set the stage for a final, decisive confrontation. The fate of 2 empires would be decided not on land, but at sea. The climax of their story came in 31 BC, in the Ionian Sea near the promontory of Actium. Octavian's fleet, commanded by the brilliant Agrippa, faced the combined naval forces of Antony and Cleopatra. The battle was a complex and chaotic affair. Antony's heavier, slower warships were outmaneuvered by Agrippa's more agile vessels. The core of their fleet was trapped in the bay. The turning point came when Cleopatra, commanding her own squadron of 60 Egyptian ships at the rear, suddenly broke through the Roman line and sailed for the open sea. Antony, seeing her retreat, abandoned his own flagship and followed her. The rest of their fleet, leaderless and demoralized, soon surrendered. The Battle of Actium was not a bloody, hard-fought slog, it was a strategic and psychological defeat from which they would never recover. They had lost their navy, their credibility, and the initiative. They fled back to Alexandria, their dream of a Greco-Roman empire shattered, with Octavian's legions now in relentless pursuit. A year later, Octavian's army stood at the gates of Alexandria. Mark Antony, receiving a false report of Cleopatra's death, fell upon his own sword, dying shortly after in her arms. With her kingdom lost and her protector gone, Cleopatra faced her final, most personal gamble. She would deny Octavian the ultimate prize of parading her through the streets of Rome as a captive. The legends say she arranged for a poisonous asp, a symbol of divine royalty, to be delivered to her in a basket of figs. She allowed the serpent to bite her, choosing her own end. With her death, an era died with her. The last active pharaoh of Egypt was gone. The Ptolemaic dynasty, which had lasted for nearly 3 centuries, was extinguished. Egypt, the breadbasket of the Mediterranean and the last great Hellenistic kingdom, was annexed as a personal province of the Roman emperor. Cleopatra's final gamble had failed to preserve her kingdom's independence, but in her death, she secured a legacy of defiance and mystique that would echo through the ages, forever marking the end of the Hellenistic period and the complete ascendancy of Rome. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe for more stories each week.